Hi everybody, welcome to the lab. Today's lesson is going to be how to make hooch, this jailhouse wine. Some of the things you're going to need: grill off an old fan, empty 1-gallon jug, 16-ounce jar of sugar, apples, large rubber band, dirty funky sheet, 5-gallon bucket. Okay. One of the key ingredients that I left out, you're going to really need at all times. Go around somewhere and steal you about a Folgers jar worth of actual powdered bleach, because I can't stress this enough. If you're not keeping everything clean and you're not making sure everything is washed down properly, chances are you're going to end up with the shits or a lot worse. Alright, so what do you do first? First things first. Get you some apples. If you can get some oranges, those work great. I've seen it done with bananas. I've seen it done with all kinds of fruit, pears, everything. You want to grate it down on something like this. If you don't have something like this to grate it down on, that's fine. You can put it in a bag, walk around on it in your socks, whatever the fuck. Smash it up. You just want some pulp. Alright, you want to take the pulp, you want to add it to a 1-gallon jug, like I have prepared right here. Okay, with the 1-gallon jug, you throw on all your pulp, and let it sit overnight. It starts to get funky. It actually gas up. Watch this. You see that movement? You hear the little sound? It's the carbon dioxide from the decomposing fruit actually filling up the jug. You got to be careful with it. It won't burst, but the lid will pop off, and if it does, all this shit's going to come running out. All right. So you add in your pulp. Once you're done with that, a lot of people like to use juice. Like they want a shitload of apple juice or orange juice or something like that to put that in there. And I found the juice doesn't really actually make a difference. It's a difference in maybe the taste and everything like that, but in the end, the main thing it's going to do is going to give you the shits. And you don't want that. So you crunch up your apples, you throw them in there, you let them decompose a little bit. Once it's all nice and ready and it starts to mill out, it starts to act right, then you come back with your sugar. And like this here is a 16-ounce creamer jar. In prison, 16 ounces is a unit of measurement that we call a pound. It's not the same. I mean, if you bought a pound of sugar on the street, it'd be a lot bigger than this, but this is what they're going to call a pound. So you're going to have 1 pound to 1 gallon. 16 ounces is actually, volume-wise, once you put water in it, it's going to go down a little bit, but you want to fill it up with water until it's a nice syrup, and when you throw it in there, that's 1 quart. 4 quarts to a gallon. Your unit of measurement for the apples, you grind up 10 of them, you smash them into cups, and you want to get about a quart worth of pulp, what we're going to call kicker. So you have 1 quart of kicker, 1 quart of sugar water. You turn around, you add another 2 quarts of water if you can fill them in. I would recommend against it because you want the jug only about this full, as you'll see. On this one here, it's not all the way full. The reason for that is if it bursts, you don't want it all spilling all over the place because now you're busted. All right? Same goes for this one right here. You see, I always leave a little bit of space for the air. Combine the ingredients, put it somewhere warm. You do have a 5-gallon bucket, so you can always just stick it in the bucket, fill the bucket up with warm water. That helps the fermentation process like that. And you basically want to just leave it alone for about 7 days. Okay? Once you come back after 7 days, you want to, taste it and just kind of see if it fucking tastes right. Chances are, if it's your first go around, it's going to take a little longer than 7 days because your rotten fruit isn't that great. Then you go and you put a piece of sheet over the top of the bucket. Take your rubber band, you secure the sheet to the bucket so that way it doesn't fall out when you pour. Then you commence to pouring your drink through the sheet. Now it's going to fill up. You're going to want to just carefully fold this over, pull it all up. I'm doing it one-handed, so of course it's not going to look the same. But you have a pouch at the end here, and you want to squeeze the pouch down, boom, 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 until you get all the juice out. Once you got all the juice in here, this stuff that you've got inside the sheet, you don't want to get rid of that. You want to put that in a bowl and seal it up somewhere because this is going to be called a kickstarter. Your next time you make a batch, you'll throw this old shit in there with the new fruit. That's going to help it go over a lot faster. All right. Once you've strained it out, you'll just take any old cup, reach in there, scoop it up, sip it, see how it tastes. If it tastes like drink, and you'll know the taste, you're ready to go. The chances are it's going to still be sweet. If it's still sweet, it's not ready. So you want to wait. Hold on here. I'm going to cut. Come back with more video later. So after you've turned around and strained a gallon of this stuff, you're going to get this much residue. It's called must. That's actually a winemaking term. What it is the leftovers from the fruit that was actually in there. Once you strain it, you wring it out real good, you're just going to have some nasty looking compost stuff. You keep that because you can throw that in with some fresh fruit and actually turn the wine a lot faster. Alright, so after I strained it, came back with two 16-ounce Folgers jars full of drink. Now that right there is gonna, they're 16-ounce jars of coffee, but liquid-wise, there's actually gonna amount to about 3.5 quarts. I know, a little bit under 3 quarts. It'll be 3 quarts. So you got 3 quarts of juice, 1 quart of junk, and that's your wine. So you want to let it sit. Maybe if it depends on your preference. If you want to get drunk right now, you can drink it right now. Me, I like to let it sit for a few days, and all the sediment will settle to the bottom, and then I'll pour it off, and I'll leave that bullshit behind. That's the swill that make you sick. So that's making wine in prison.